University ama oiriba Assam Downtown University ki admission haujare. Pandemic asigi yenglaga online class su September amadagi haujaragani. Engineering, paramedical amadi allied course singda ming chanbining singna Assam Downtown University admission office First, the top news headlines. World still long way from herd immunity, says World Health Organization. PCC slams government for ordering home isolation for asymptomatic cases. And Assam, Arunachal register lowest COVID-19 fatality rate in India. Hello and good afternoon. I am ONEL Samandram giving you the Times of Manipur English News. Now the news in details. In India, the total number of recoveries has crossed the 19 lakh mark. Continuous increase in average daily recoveries has led to India's COVID-19 recovery rate rising to 73.18% and a low case fatality rate of 1.92%. The actual case load of the country is now around 25% of the total cases. Meanwhile, phase 3 trials of the Oxford vaccine will begin in India this week. According to media reports, Oxford University vaccine candidate Covishield could be the first one to move into production in India. The World Health Organization has said nations that hoard possible vaccines while excluding others will deepen the pandemic. The health body also added that the planet is nowhere near the amount of coronavirus immunity needed to induce herd immunity. The World Health Organization, WHO, said changes in viruses happen all the time after a new COVID-19 mutation was discovered in 3 cases in Malaysia, deemed to be 10 times more infectious. Identifying a change does not automatically mean COVID-19 has changed. One needs to look to see if this means the virus is behaving differently, the body said, adding that the world was still a long way from herd immunity. In Manipur, the coronavirus infection tally stood at 4,764 as of this morning. The death toll in the state has reached 18. Yesterday, the state reported 78 fresh coronavirus cases. The new positive cases were detected at VRDL of RIMS Janims RAT, RIMS TrueNet, Jiribam RAT, None RAT, Imphal West RAT, Imphal East RAT, Bishnupur Hospital and Public Hospital and Research Institute. The new cases were from Imphal West, Imphal East, Bishnupur, None and Thobal districts. The number of active cases in the state now stands at 1,958 while 2,789 have been discharged after recovery. The recovery rate in the state has increased to 58.53% according to the state COVID-19 Command Control Room. Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee MPCC Vice President and AICC member Moirangthem Hemanta has slammed the Manipur government for issuing an order allowing COVID-19 asymptomatic patients to stay in home quarantine. The government order also mentioned that standard operating procedure SOP for home isolation of asymptomatic or very mild COVID-19 positive cases and those who are tested negative to be discharged with an advice for strict home quarantine. Moirangthem Hemanta said that the government order is akin to leaving the patients die themselves. He was briefing media at his Tentha residence today. The PCC leader further accused the state government of mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the state has been witnessing continuous spike in coronavirus cases and that the government has ignored the situation. He also appealed to the state government to recruit the required number of doctors and nurses to help tackle the situation.
COVID-19 thangnaba Dr. Chahum amadi nurse Sama Sumna Taru अथुबा मतमदा नौना थबा हापकदबनी मदु नत्रबदी अनाबा सिरम मतुंगदा डॉक्टर कौबगा चप मानगनी अदु अमरमदा ला लोयरबा मतुंगदा सिफाई थाजंगनी हाइबा वाखलोन से मणिपुर सरकारना थादोकदबनी हाइबा वाफम असी मियाम मांगदा थमजरी
Assam and Arunachal Pradesh are among 30 states and union territories in India which have been witnessing the lowest fatality rate due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said. As per Health Minister statistics, Assam has registered 0.25% case fatality rate and Arunachal Pradesh registered 0.19%, which is the lowest in comparison to the national average of 1.92%. Health Ministry statistics said that Assam has 22,736 active COVID cases till date, whereas 197 people have already died. Accordingly, Arunachal Pradesh has 843 total active cases. 5 people have died so far. India on the day has set another record in COVID-19 tests conducted per day. Nearly 9 lakh tests have been conducted in a single day, taking the total number to 3.9 crore. Well, it's now time for a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Saklon Ama Thasigi Kuntogi Numidang Pung Taret Makaida Miambu Harau Nungai Napota Hanbang Lagadaba Saknairaba Miamgi Oja Tolan Galunana Miambu Naijeramgi Aikogi number 7629943 da call to below Sagrapam Hemantagaloinana Ngayak Haraute Aminasi.
Another feature Singaloinana Lecture Dachan Ready Gold. Distinctive LED DRLS, 20-inch 32cm infotainment screen, smart drive auto, spacious cabin, flexible storage capacity, intuitive reverse parking assist camera, starting price 3 lakh. Booking kinama ngasi maglangsing birau Island Nissan Kanchipur near Standard Robert Higher Secondary School.
Siri Siri Gaurachandraya Nama Purbasramda Aikhoi Khwai Pumnamaki Iraktalei Rambi Khwairakpam Ombi Promila Devina Mahaki Nungsizaraba Imong Manung Sagai Natai Marup Mapang Khwai Pumnamak Puthadoklamlaga Haukiba August Kitang Nipan Tawangi Kun Nipan Ba Thangzanumita Sri Guru Gi Kripadagi Besolaga Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhavati Dasi Haiba Nam Phangzaduna Brindavan Prapti Oikre Lakliba August Kitang Tarahumdoi Tawangi Kun Mari Nipan Ba Sagon Senumita Asi Sanchoi Lokacharaga August Kitang Kun Mathoi Langbangi Humni Panba Irai Numita Leikidrabagi Strada Din Toklei Hariba Thoramasi COVID-19 Namaram Oiraga Imong Manung Sagi Natei Khaktamak Pangthok Jaragani Haizariba Khwairakpam Iboyama Makubok Amadi Imong Manung Singh Segarot Khwairakpam Lekai.
Welcome back. The Coordination Committee organized its third meeting to discuss the pressing issue pertaining to recognition of Manipuri as one of the official languages of Assam. The meet was held at the premises of Koirakandi Junior College in Silchar yesterday. According to a Jiribam correspondent, leaders of the Coordination Committee Ingudam Binod and Abdul Bari Khan presided the meeting, wherein the committee decided to bring together all Manipuris in Assam to launch a protest to push for the demand. During the meet, the Coordination Committee also assured of supporting many steps taken up by organizations for the cause. The upcoming protest will be organized by MYFA on August 21st next at Lakhipur Bazaar. Divers Club and residents of Sangayumpham Marian Khun have refuted the recent media reports that a 17-year-old girl from the locality was raped by one Muhammad Siddiq Ali, aged 37 years, on August 15 last. According to our Thobal correspondent, Divers Club and the residents also condemn MYDA Club Sangayumpham Marian Khun and women folk of the village for what they said blindly accusing Siddiq without knowing the truth. Muhammad Siddiq is well known by people in the area. Divers said and appealed to the masses and civil society groups in the state to look into the matter. A team of Youth Forward Association YFA, Chingtham, Sampabi Memorial Club SMC, Sapam and Creative Youth Organization CYO Sapam of Thobal District's Wangjing Tenta, accompanied by media persons, to inspected the 4.5 kilometer-long road stretch connecting Khongjom Bazar and Sapam in Wangjing Tentha constituency. The important road stretch has been lying in pathetic condition and
matam punamakta masmaina koi delay status tawrga matam ji loigraga hariba phanjing ji PMGSY ji lawthoga loisan gidorba haibage koi lawki maike de madu mi pai jab phongdok chali athu matam da yaraga di masi laiba nongju tha ji ji ayamba loigre aduna nongju tha ji gi matam ji da hen lambi ji suksan gi tar ga di koi parja da hen khudong cha da ba amasung mathang PMGSY की मथंग की फेज लाक्तिबु ngai taragdi lamdam si laiba parja mayam si aduki mati awaba mayok nargani haina asi club ahum gi maikei dagi miyam gi mahut sinjarga koina asoi basi thongdok chai haina ningsing.
In continuation of the Manipur government's initiative to ensure availability of food grains to all during the ongoing lockdown, several assembly constituencies of the state continued with the lifting of PDS rice from different godowns. In Imphal West District, a total of 6,178.9 quintal of rice under PMGKY for the month of August was lifted yesterday for 3 assembly constituencies, which consisted of 2,012.8 quintal for Pachoy, 2,270.7 quintal for Lamsang and 1,895.4 quintal for Nauria Pakhanglakpa constituencies. Singhat constituency in Churachandpur district also lifted 961 quintal of rice under NFSA and 887.95 quintal under PMGKY. The same constituency also had lifted 1,329.40 quintal under NAFSA on August 17 last. In respect of Imphal West district, 7,283.45 quintal of rice under NFSA has been lifted on August 12, 13 and 14 last. The assembly constituencies which lifted quantities were 2,124.7 quintal for Khurai constituency, 1,554.65 quintal for Kairao constituency, 1,196.1 quintal for Yaskul constituency and 2,408 quintal for Wangkai constituency, a government release said today. Assam's Darang police yesterday busted a racket of illicit child trafficking while rescuing a newborn and arrested 3 persons including a temporary staff of Mangaldai Civil Hospital. As per a media report, police busted the illegal racket with support from several child care stakeholders including District Child Protection Unit, DCPU, Child Welfare Committee, CWC, local NGO and local youths. Officer in charge of Sipajar Police Station, Inspector Bishwajit Deka, had guided investigation police team following a letter from DCPU to the Superintendent of Police Darang on July 31st last and subsequent FIR by CWC. Well, it's now time for another short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Siri Siri Gaurachandraya Nama Purvasramda Aikhoi Khwai Pumnamak Pokon Biramba Sri Kundrakpam Ibobi Singna Magi Nungsizaraba Imung Manung Sagai Natay Amadi Marup Mapang Khwai Pumnamak Puthadoklamlaga Haukiba Tang Nipan Thawangi Kun Nipan Bathang Zanumita Sri Gurugi Kripadagi Besolaga Sri Biswambar Das Haibanam Phangzaduna Brindaban Prapti Oikre Lakliba Tang Tarahumdoi Ing Thawangi Kun Mari Nipan Basagon Senumita Asi Sanchay Lokhatcharaga Lakliba Tang Kun Mathoi Langban Gi Humni Pan Ba Irai Numita Leihidrabagi Shraddha Din Thokle Hairiba Thoramasi COVID-19 Namaram Oraga Imung Manung Sagai Nate Khaktamak Pangthokjaragani Masida Leihidrabaga Loinaramba Tinaramba Marumapang Singna Warobitanaba Nolukchariba Kundrakpam Chandrakala Devi Amadi Imung Manung Singh Lairenjam Mayailekai.
खंगहन जवाब लमजिंगबा फाइनेंस की माइकैदगी वाफम खरदन खंगनजरी मदुदे हौखिबा जुलाई की तांग मरी लिसिंग अनि कुंदा थोखिबा नोटिस की मतुंगिना August 15, 2020 lamjingba finance hangba hogani tawjaramba adu laigak na haukiba July gi tang 12 dagi leptana lockdown thamlakpana maram oiraga office hangba yadana lakli maram aduna laigak ki maikai dagi office hangba yahanbagi kudong chawa du pidriba fawbade lamjingba finance ki thabak thauram sing pangthokpada achauba panba ma oiri masina maram oiraga lamjingba finance na mamang thokiba notice adu stay tawraga anauba notice ama thuba matamda leiba ke situation yenglaga thokjuba fawba lamjingba finance ka mari leinaba thabak thauram sing lepchakigani haina paujenjari ba maibum ranjan manager lamjingba finance.
Welcome back. At least 45 people, including 3 army personnel, have tested positive for novel coronavirus in Mizoram in the last 24 hours, taking the state's case load to 860, State Health Department sources said. Of the 45 cases, 2 were local transmission as the patients have no travel history, sources said. According to reports, altogether 21 cases were reported from Aizawl district, 14 from Kolasip district, 6 from South Mizoram's Longklai district and 3 cases were reported from West Mizoram's Mamit district bordering Tripura and Bangladesh. The newly infected patients, which consisted of 30 males and 15 females, including 3 army personnel, 14 truck drivers who came from Assam, Jharkhand and Haryana, and the remaining 28 were state residents. The United States and China have agreed to double the number of airline flights that each other's airlines can operate between the countries from 4 to 8 per week. The deal marked a further easing of a standoff between the world's 2 biggest economies over travel restrictions imposed during the pandemic. According to a media report, the U.S. Transportation Department announced the increase yesterday, saying that China's aviation authority decided this week to permit expanded flights by United and Delta. Shortly after the announcement, Chicago-based United Airlines said it will go from 2 to 4 flights per week between San Francisco and Shanghai via Seoul starting September 4 next. India and Bangladesh yesterday discussed a 2-year roadmap for bilateral ties as per a media report. The discussion was held during a meeting between Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the visiting Indian Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Singla, who is paying a 2-day visit to capital Dhaka. The discussion noted that in the recent past, both sides have updated their inland water protocol, which also included Tripura, started a cargo ferry service, and India has presented Bangladesh with locomotives. In addition, the 2 sides hope to finalize the Aghora-Agartala rail link, the 1,320 megawatt Khulna thermal plant, as well as other projects which would be inaugurated next year in time for the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties and the continuation of the centenary celebration of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the report added. National carrier Air India has been banned by Hong Kong authorities from flying to Hong Kong airport for 2 weeks, August 18 to 31st, reportedly for carrying too many passengers infected with COVID-19. Air India operates flights to Hong Kong under the Vande Bharat mission and was scheduled to operate special flights from Delhi on August 18, August 21st, August 25th and August 28th. According to media reports, an Air India official confirmed that the Hong Kong authorities had banned flights for 2 weeks but did not detail the reason for the restrictions. The official said the airline would initiate talks with the Hong Kong authorities for lifting the suspension. Join Tom TV's Your Voice Adomgi Khonjel. Please express your grievances and issues through our channel. Be a citizen journalist. Let us listen to today's Your Voice. Now it's time for the local newspaper headlines.
The People's Chronicle. One more dies as tally reaches 4,765. Local cases 1,384. Helpline numbers for psychological and hospitalization support. Command Control Room operational for 24/7. MLA Fazur Rahim discharged based on RAT results. AMSU demands probe by retired High Court judge. Police PRO clarifies on AMSU's charges. Chief Minister Biren meets Nada. Professor Tikendra T.S. Bishwajit asked to reach Delhi. The Shanghai Express. Don't discriminate drivers and helpers on duty call issued. COVID death toll rises to 18. 69 Sands travel history test positive. Chief Minister meets JP Nada. Bishwajit invited to Delhi. Imphal Free Press. NSC and IM to defend Naga political issue at all costs. Stay home becoming unsafe for victims of sexual abuse, domestic violence. Manipur Mail. Task Force for Implementation of NEP finalized, says Education Minister. Death toll reaches 18. 4,765 total COVID cases. International flight with 13 countries. India tests a new record, nearly 9 lakh tested in one day.
Well, before we wind up, let's have a quick look at the top news headlines once again. We're still a long way from herd immunity, says World Health Organization. PCC slams government for ordering home isolation for asymptomatic cases. And Assam, Arunachal registered lowest COVID-19 fatality rate in India. Well, that's all for now. Stay tuned to Times of Manipur.
Admission open.